Welcome back to another Friday Night Live. I pray that everyone is in excellent health. I appreciate you taking the time out to come here, that we can break bread through the word of our King. And we do have an important topic which we have covered in pieces in time past, but I think now we're going to take a slightly different approach to it. And hopefully we all going to learn something. I'm so happy to our Elohim for sparing our lives that we can be here. And I pray that those of you down in the Caribbean are doing well, and the Mishpachah over in South and Central America, we say Shalom, happy Friday Night Live to you. Right here in these divided states of America, Shalom, Shalom. Across the border in Canada, Shalom, happy Friday Night Live. To the Mishpachah over in the UK, in Africa, Middle East, the Far East, Europe, and every island of the sea, we greet you all by saying Shalom, Shalom. To get started, we're going to have Elder open up with a word of prayer, and then we're going to get started in the name of our King.
All praises to the Most High, Eternal Father. We take the time this evening to give you thanks once again for sparing our lives, protecting us on the road, at home, being such a wonderful Father. We pray that thou, Father, will be with us tonight as we gather together on this Friday Night Live teaching ministry. We pray that thou, Father, will visit us on this platform, bless us, guide us, each and every one of us gathered from the four corners. We pray that thou may be with us, comfort our hearts with the words of encouragement, the Torah from our teachers, Brother Yana, Brother O'Shea, and Brother Kifa as they teach and read. We pray a blessing will be upon them. We pray, Father, that I may speak to Brother Yana tonight, to him, through him, and for him, and also Brother O'Shea and Brother Kifa as they read your words tonight, Father. I pray and teach your words, that the blessing, the power of your gospel, the teaching ministry will be taking such a wonderful effect on each and every one of our lives that those that come will say, we are not going to return, we're going to remain and give you all the thanks and praise, Father. Bless us, guide us throughout the night. We love you and we thank you because we ask it all. Through your Son, Yeshua, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elder.
Welcome.
First and foremost, again, welcome everyone. I want to say thanks for all of you who have been praying for our recovery. We've been battling a very unusual cold. It seems like it has these hands or tentacles that is just attached to your chest, your membranes and stuff, and it doesn't want to let go. And although we're not in a serious situation, it's very annoying. Sometimes when you got to eat or whatever that you're doing, it just comes up at the wrong time, or when you're resting, trying to sleep. There you go. It starts to aggravate the system. So we're going to do the best that we can. I got remedies from brethren, and trust me, I've been trying everything. But, we'll just have to let the Most High do what must be done for us to have full recovery. And just keep praying for us. And, by the mercies of our King, we are going to be restored back full strength. But it's very, very annoying. With that said, tonight's class is a continuation of the deal. This is part 5 of the series. And we're going to be covering the fashion edition. Remember the words of Satan that said to our Messiah, when he was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, that all these things I will give you. He's talking about his world, not the earth, but the world. All these things that he has put together, I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. And in our society, we have so many people who have given themselves to the devil because they want to achieve successes in this life. Now, there's nothing wrong with us trying our best to do good for our lives, because that's why we're here. We're here on this earth to, enjoy the life that our Elohim has given us, right? But unfortunately, because of sin, we have an adversary who has taken the good things of our King and perverted it and made it in such a way that he now becomes, he wants to become the door. Yeshua says, I am the door. No man can enter but by me, right? But Satan wants people to access wealth and fame and fortunes and everything else by coming to him. And the end result is never good. So in tonight's broadcast, we want to cover things a little bit different because there's a passage in the New Testament, I think it's Yeshua that said it, spoke about sometimes you may have someone who is in a nice clothing that will be well respected versus those that have a certain type of dress that is very humble. Just imagine a guy in a suit versus one that's a farmer or mechanic. You know, he's a little bit dirty or he's landscaping. Who do you think will be more accepted into a building? You know, who do you think will be more accepted? So clothing is a very important part of your status, who you are. But tonight we want to not just talk about that per se. We want to show you that when the Bible says all these things, Satan said, all these things I'm going to give to you, that also includes clothing. We're going to see that in the scriptures, right? There are clothes that the Most High, garments that he set aside for us to wear, and there are clothes where we shouldn't be messing with that thing. Now, it's a little challenging because the way that the world is, we have been living in this captivity for so long, and we have been watching the ways of the heathen as an example of how we should dress, that some churches would say, if you don't have a suit and a tie, you can't come up here and preach. Or a jacket, you can't preach, right? As if Paul and the disciples had jackets and ties. But they set the recommendations for their establishment and say this is how it's going to be. And so we use that as an example to say, okay, I'm regarded as clean if I wear certain things. But the Most High, again, has a way, and Satan has his own way. Unfortunately, we don't have too many good examples of how we should really dress per se. We only take the garbage that has been given to us and try to make it as decent as possible. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, you're given certain things, right? And certain textiles, certain cloth, certain materials, certain patterns, and you have a certain amount of styles. If you say that I'm going to make something that's going to be what you believe within your heart that the Most High will be pleased about, he says, I'm going to make my own clothes. You might look like an oddball. The world will be looking at you like, where do you think he's going? Who do you think you are? Right? You're going to look very strange if you don't dress like everyone else. You know what I mean? Maybe you might want to put on a little something on your, like, I got this shirt on that says your shoe on it, right? You might want to put a little something to kind of separate you from the rest of the world. But if you decide, you know what, this garment here doesn't look like it's something that the disciples are, you know, is sanctioned by the Most High, I need to make my own clothes, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. Right?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, a lot of people don't think that garments aren't important. Like we talked about in some of the class on Shabbat about the garments having the power. I wanted to open up with this just to kind of show something. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 28, just to kind of set the stage for where you're going. So we can realize, Mishpachah, that there is a difference. There's always a difference, okay? And this is just an example that we can see. This is Exodus chapter 28 and verses 2.
And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron, thy brother, for glory and for beauty.
And that's all we needed right there. You shall make holy garments. And I wanted to extract that out so we can see that there are garments that are considered holy, and there will be garments that will be considered unholy. So as we go through tonight's class, we will see a difference when it comes to separating ourselves. Like Rebbe was talking about, be creative, make your own stuff. We are talented people, and there's nothing new under the sun. And with a lot of the nature of everyone is we want to stand out. We want to be different. We want to be trendsetters. But there's nothing new. Just be simple, make your own stuff, or buy the simple things and make it into your own thing. That way, you're not like the other nations.
Well said. And looking at this screen here, you can see this is a runway. A runway is a place where a lot of professional people in photography, people in marketing, people that deals with entertainment and other places of business, and they all come together to watch the latest styles that's being released. Some things are released to the public, some things are released to private citizens or buyers based upon the price. Some folks will, for example, this garment that this person is wearing, as you can see, it's very satanic looking. I mean, this doesn't look like anything that you'll find in a regular store. But there are people who will spend a lot of money, thousands, tens and thousands of dollars just for something like that because they want something unique. And the people who design clothing, called designers, they are regarded as artisans or artists, craftsmen, people who know different fabrics, they know the color spectrum, they have a lot of understanding about clothing. But there's also another side of this thing that we're going to look at, excuse me, which is the occult. Because as you can see, this doesn't look so righteous. I mean, look, there's nothing righteous about it, right? But you don't see one or two people. You see a crowds of people that are paying top dollar to be there, to watch this artist or this designer put out their fashion. So let's get right to it, Brother Shea, and I believe Kifa's going to be reading. So Kifa, can you read for us, please?
Fashion is a reflection of society. Fashion does more than provide clothing. It both influences and reflects society. Its adaptability makes it central to cultural history and identity, marking shifts in values, practices, and technology. As it evolves, fashion documents culture changes and expresses social norms.
Societal norms. All right. So this is important. It says it doesn't just provide clothing, right? Fashion is not just about having to wear something. There's a message behind it. It says it both influences. That means that what you wear can affect another person's mind or view, right? It can teach someone something. And we all know when we were growing up, if a girl wears something skimpy, she would be corrected immediately because it's a reflection upon the family, but it also is going to be teaching others. A teacher in the classroom seeing a student not dress appropriately will know that that person who's not dressed correctly will also influence the decisions and mindsets of others. If you decide I'm going to roll my sleeve up, or I'm going to leave my shirt up my pants, or I'm going to do whatever it is that is not regarded as standard for the class, for the school, you're going to be a rebel. You'll be regarded as a rebel, and you have to make those changes. So there is definitely an influence part, and it also reflects the society, because the society, if the society is condoning wickedness, the clothing is also going to match the same thing. Like we talk about food. why the food is so messed up. Because the society is messed up, right? And it reflects in the food. It reflects in entertainment. It reflects in pretty much everything, even very conversation. You know, mannerisms, the good mornings, the good afternoons, right? It affects society. And they spoke about adapting, right? Because adaptability of clothing makes it central to cultural history and identity. Brethren, that's where we are in a very bad place as Israelites, as Hebrewites, right? What am I talking about? We're talking about our identity. Now, we can have a separate class on righteous clothing and all the things that we should do. That's not what this class is all about per se. It's just showing you that clothing could also make you be in a deal with the devil. The type of clothes that you wear will link you up, okay, with the dark side, the dark forces. And we're going to see how that is as we go through tonight's class. So it talks about practices and technology as it evolves, fashion documents cultural changes, and expresses societal norms. Let's read on, Kifa.
What I was going to say real quick was just by reading this is why companies put out uniforms to counter that. So everyone is focused on the task at hand and not the social norms and the different identifying markers and different things like that.
That's correct. Uniforms is to keep everybody looking the same. That's why it's called uniform, uniform as one. But it also, when you're talking about like school uniforms, it also breaks down. It keeps the children from looking at class, who has more and who doesn't, right? Because if you are dressed a certain way, your attention is not going to be upon learning. Your attention will be upon trying to stand out with everybody else. And so uniforms help to prevent class, so everyone is equal among themselves, and you can focus on the task at hand. Let's read, Kifa, Cult Symbolism Beyond High Fashion.
Occult symbolism has expanded its influence well beyond the exclusive circles of high fashion. What was once confined to elite designers and runway shows now permeates a broader spectrum of the industry, touching various aspects of style and design.
So occult symbolism beyond high fashion. I don't know if you know, but there's a rise in a lot of occult symbolism. Some of them are very simple. Some of them are more complex. Some of them is a combination of different things. Some of them have words that are written. Like you'll see stuff, Brother Shea, you can probably help with this one. As it is above, so is below, right?
Yeah.
And everybody should, most people would know what that means. I don't know if one of y'all want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, that's just talking about the reverse of what the Most High has instructed. When we read the Lord's Prayer, he's saying, "So in heaven as it is on earth." So the devil reversed that and tried to put his own spin on it to counter it, and now it's a rebellious way of saying opposite to what the Most High has put out. That's basically what it is.
When you look at the right side of the screen, there's a chart that is out there, one of many, that kind of show the evolution of fashion or clothing, how it evolved. Now, we don't believe in cavemen and all that stuff, but I think the primitive form of clothing, which were mainly skins, if you remember, the Most High put skins on Adam and Eve when they broke the commandment of the Most High. And so men were wearing skins for a while until they learned how to weave things together, plant material together. Then they started making, cloths and stuff like that, textiles. You can see the evolution and different styles that are out there. And certain styles will label you as a citizen of a specific country, right? So everybody knows that when you see, for example, how Brother Shay's dress, a lot of people will equate that the origin of that style with America, and other types of dress will let people know, okay, you're either an African, you are an Indian, Sudanese, you are an Eskimo or whatever, based upon the type of clothing that you wear. So that also gives people an idea. As you can see, with all the different changes, some things were normalized by the society within eras of time, right? For 50 years or it was one way, then it changed so much. And then with the advent of the printing press, people started to print catalogs and stuff like that. And then that opened up more opportunity for design and schools of design. And then now when people start seeing that I can have access to this style or that style or whatever it is, it started to cause a race in the fashion world for more designs, and designs started to change even quicker. That even today, you can have something different, or something could be stale within a day or two. So I don't know if you all have seen videos where some of these musicians or entertainers, they will only wear a pair of sneakers one time, right? They would order the first copy, the first design, the first one off the design press. They will buy it for whatever price it is. They want to be the first to have it. They want to wear it to a certain event so the world can see it. When they're done with it. They're gone. It's gone. They don't want to be wearing the same thing everybody's wearing, right? And that also ties into covetousness, idolatry, and a whole lot of things, because that type of behavior sends the message of just disposable, right? Waste. And the Most High is not about waste. All right, let's move on.
Ancient mysticism into contemporary style. In today's ever-changing fashion landscape, a unique trend has surfaced, blending ancient mystical elements with modern aesthetics. Occult symbolism has become a prominent feature, appearing everywhere from high-end collections to everyday streetwear, transforming ordinary clothing into bold statements of spirituality and rebellion. This intersection of fashion and the occult reveals a captivating shift, where garments become expression of deeper meaning and personal identity. Occult-inspired fashion, art, or conjuring talisman. Many of the most renowned names in fashion have committed themselves to an occult-inspired direction, drawing heavily from esoteric symbols and mysticism in their designs. This approach raises important questions about the nature and purpose of these garments. Are they simple wearable art, creative expressions meant to provoke thoughts and showcase craftsmanship, or do they function as mystical talisman with deeper, possible, sinister meanings? Are we making deals with unseen forces by wearing clothing initiated and pleasing to them?
That's a good question. Let me start with that question. Are we making deals? Remember, tonight's class is the deal. Are we making deals with unseen forces by wearing the clothing that initiates and pleases the demons? Because sometimes that's what happens. We would wear a piece of clothing not knowing the designer, the background of the designer, the type of work that was put into the tapestry, the symbolic meanings behind those things. As you put all those things together, those particular things, as in witchcraft, can conjure or attract certain spirits. Everybody knows that if you're dressed a certain way, certain type of people will hang around you, right? And we're going to cover that in a little bit. But again, the fashion industry is changing all the time. But what has been happening is that there have been a blending of the ancient mystical elements, witchcraft, blending that thing into what you call fashion. You have a lot of occult symbols and so forth that's placed on the shirts, and certain people wear them, right? And why is it that the designers always allow musicians, public figures, like just entertainers in general, whether it's sports, whether it's a movie or it's music, those three areas, right, of entertainment? Why is it that they are so connected to the fashion industry? Because it's a great place to market things, and because those people influenced young people. Remember, when we study the Bible, Satan always liked to have young children as sacrifices, right? Because it's mainly the young people that are influenced with fashion. Old people may try to be old, young, or whatever, and they want to dress a certain type of way. It doesn't always work. And sometimes young people will look at them like, you're out of your league. It doesn't look good on you, right? But the industry, the fashion industry, knows that these people is going to represent the kingdom of darkness. The entertainers, the musicians, because when they sing their songs and they're out and people are listening to the music, they're also watching what they're wearing. And there's a connection, a spiritual connection that is made, right? Why is it that people who are into, and I'll just use reggae music for example, and they smoke the weed or whatever, or maybe not smoke the weed, but a lot of them that get into that stuff find themselves everybody looks like Bob Marley, right? And they want to speak a certain type of way. You got a lot of white Rastas out there that try to speak like they're from the Caribbean, right? And they want to be more dreaded than dread. They want to look a certain way. So there's a lot of things that influence people to get them to perform or behave a certain type of way, right? And so this is not just something wearable. It's not just art. It's actually something that connects to the spirit world, okay? Let's move on unless you guys have something you want to add to that.
It's a lot of neuroassociation to what is being said, and a lot of anchors. The music is tied into the wearables and the words. It's almost like a violation of Leviticus 26:1 and also Exodus 20, the second commandments. Basically, it's being idolized in that sense. You hear a certain song, a certain jingle, and next thing you know, your mind is bringing this up, or you're associating this with this situation, or you get a certain feeling because of this. That's why a lot of the things that happen in the industry, food is always tied into it, with the clothing, with the holidays, with all these different things. Mm-hmm. So that's why, the Bible has always said that don't associate with these darkness or the darkness of the things of darkness, so that it would become a stumbling block to us.
Yeah, you're right, Kifan. You brought up a very good point, which reminds me, like in Christmas time, the two main colors. Just tell me off the top of your head, what are the two main colors that denotes Christmas? Anybody?
Ema said red and green.
Red and green. That is correct. Red and green. Everybody knows that when you're talking about Christmas, there's a certain color that sets you up with the spirit, mm-hmm. right? The spirit of Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then there's a whole lot of other things that is connected to that. But the point is that there are colors that acts as identifiers and markers. And it's so important. Just like police officers know certain type of clothing looks like you're up to no good, like you're in a gang, the way that you dress, and things that used to be associated with gangs and prison life and so forth have now become part of the fashion, industry. That children, they want to go to school look like thugs, and girls want to go to school looking like whores, and that's a big problem, right? Let's read Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 19, verses 29 and verses 30. This is good.
A man may be known by his look, and one that hath understanding by his countenance, when thou meetest him. A man's attire and excessive laughter and gait shows what he is.
This is good. A person is known by the way he looks. It could be his facial expression, but in tonight's class, we're going to focus on the clothing, the way that he dresses, right? And one that have understanding, whatever that's in your mind, your spirit, whether it's good understanding or evil understanding, by his countenance, the way you dress, right? And when you meet him, so when you see him, look at this picture right here.
Rebbe, as we're looking at that, we have to remember everything is connected to the spirit world. And the devil plays upon our five senses. Kiefer mentioned about the food. You talk about the music. But they all connect back to the five senses that we have: taste, touch, sight, smell, all those things. And hearing. So the music with the hearing, the clothing with the touch. Of course, you have all types of perfumes and stuff with the smells, and the food with the taste, and the different creams and lotions and potions, and you name it. So it's like a beacon that attracts a certain spirit that creates an atmosphere wherein that spirit can dwell in. So when we start to put on these garments that we can see here clearly, that attaches that spirit. It's like a beacon, a light that goes off, and the spirit says, "I'm welcome here."
Yeah.
You eating this type of food, we're welcome here. This type of music is playing, we're welcome here, and so forth.
That's a very good point, because hey, if you know a place that is a strip club, take that sign off the strip club, and put a different sign up. Call it First Baptist Church, right? And take the strip club sign and put it on a school. Take the school sign down and put that on that thing. Guess what? You're going to find a long line of certain people going to the school because they think this is a new club, right? Because the thing is a magnet. The sign, the way that it's set up is designed specifically to draw attention to it. Again, Sirach 19 and 30 says, a man's dress, his attire, right? Excessive laughter and gait show what he is. Now, again, look at this picture. And see, this guy that you see here, we'll talk about him a little bit later. But in brief, this is a designer. He's a fashion designer. Okay, well-known fashion designer. And notice the way his shoes, his pants is set up. His shoes is, brethren. The heel itself is clear, so you're not really focused on that. But the rest of his shoe is exactly like a demon, goat foot demon, right? So the brothers he's looking at this guy like, you don't have to say much. The first thing that comes to your mind is like, that's a demon, right? Something ain't right about this thing. And so if you see someone dressed like this, now if the shoe heel was covered black, the same, matching color, the same as the rest of the shoe, you probably wouldn't pay too much attention. But let me tell you something. I was watching a documentary, and I've been trying to find it. It was on Netflix. Probably they removed it. I'm not sure. But it was dealing with the fashion industry. And there was this prominent fashion designer. He's a male. And he said, and I'm just going to paraphrase what he said, that high heels was patterned after a goat's foot. I'm just paraphrasing it, right? The whole thing was patterned after that particular animal, right? Either a horse, a goat, or whatever, but it's patterned after that. And it pushes the body, puts the body in a certain way. You're walking on your toes. And it's to emulate something that is dark. We all know this is satanic just by looking at it, right? All right, let's move on. You're going to see some more. Garments can indicate occupation. This is what you were talking about.
Yep.
So in this one here, we're going to look at some scriptures. We're going to read Genesis first, and we're going to go through some of these here that shows that, yes, certain types of clothes that you wear will definitely identify you or mark you in a certain type of work. Okay? So let's get Genesis 38, 13 to 15. Let's read that, and then we'll cover the priests, war, prison, and the shepherd.
Verse 13, and it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face.
All right. So this woman was wearing garments that people will identify, number one, that she was a widow. What did she do? She took that off, and she put some clothing on that will identify her as an harlot. Why she identifies a harlot? Because the Bible says she covered her face. Now, in this time that we live right now, harlots are not even covered. They're exposed. But back in those days, harlots was covered a certain way to hide their identity. The Bible says he thought in his mind, he didn't know exactly who she was or anything like that. He thought her to be an harlot. Why? It's because of how she was dressed. She took off one garment and put on another one, and now she is identified as a different type, a woman of trade, selling her body. Okay? Now, let's get the other ones. Let's pull up some of the other ones here. Let's look at Exodus 28. 4 and 21, I think it is. Yeah, 4 and 21.
And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, and his sons, and he may minister unto me in the priest office.
So this is the garments that is worn by priests. You can move on, O'Shea. It's fine. These are the garments that the Most High specifically said only the priest that comes out of Aaron's lineage or in Aaron's loins is allowed to dress this particular way. And if a common person put it on, that's a death sentence, right? You're in violation of the Most High's commandments. There was a certain type of perfume that the high priest alone was supposed to wear. If the common people decide, hey, we're going to market this thing and call it Cohen by Fabergé or some stupid thing like that, you'll be in trouble. Lightning and thunder will be on your behind, right? So the Most High has his own fashion, and fashion is not just about clothing. It's also about your smell and a whole lot of other things that goes into it, right? Let's get 21.
And the stone shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name shall they be according to the 12 tribes.
Again, this is the clothing for the priests. The high priest in particular had to wear this to identify him being a leader, spiritual leader and guide of the nation of Israel. 12 tribes, right? Okay, unless you all have something to say on that, let's move on to our next one, Isaiah 59 and 17. Isaiah 59 and 17. So, yes, brethren, there are clothing that can identify who you are. And Shalawa says Goth is dark regardless. That's correct. You know, all of that stuff is nothing but vampirism. All right, Kifa?
For he put on righteousness as a breastplate, and an helmet of salvation upon his head. And he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak.
All right. Now, this is dealing with our Messiah, right? Coming to save Israel. But you can see he is being clothed or being prepared for war. And this is just a small example. We have other examples of men putting on a shield and breastplate and all that stuff. But we can see that something will identify you as a warrior, right? Clothing. Let's get the prison one. Jeremiah 52 and 33. And these things are important because we as parents have to spot check. Oh, and I won't even say parents. Adult Israelites, adult Hebrewites. We are responsible, as the Bible says, brother's keeper. Don't be looking at the young one who's dressed in a certain way and feeling I can't say anything. No, you're responsible for the safekeeping of that Hebrew, right? And you got to make sure that you also is dressed appropriately, right? Okay, so let's get it.
And changed his prison garments, and he did continually eat bread before him all the days of his life.
He changed his prison garments. So even in prison, you have garments that identify you as what? A prisoner.
Inmate.
An inmate.
Yep.
Well, even that term don't even make any sense because it doesn't sound like it's peaceful. I mean, it sounds like it's peaceful, inmate. So what do you do? I'm an inmate. Oh, that doesn't sound so bad. If you say I'm a prisoner, they're going to want to know, okay, if you say I'm a convict, that's even clearer, right? You stay outside. I'll bring you a plate of food. I'm sorry you can't come inside and eat at the table with me. You say I'm an inmate. The word mate makes it sound like,
Friend.
Friend, yeah. Come on in. Let's sit down and break bread together.
It's more to it than that.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that alone, Kifa. That's
Yeah.
all right. Let's get the next one. Shepherd, Jeremiah 43 and 12.
And I will kindle a fire in the houses of the gods of Egypt, and he shall burn them and carry them away captives. And he shall array himself with the land of Egypt, as a shepherd putteth on his garment, and he shall go forth from thence in peace.
Now it's talking about a type of situation and how a shepherd would, throw on his clothes, roughly and so forth. But it also identifies that shepherds have a particular garment because it didn't just say as a person puts on his garment. It uses the term shepherd because what if it says as a soldier put on his garment? What if it says as a king puts on his garment or a priest puts on his garment? That sets things up totally different. But the Bible is telling us that even shepherds are identified by their garments. By their garments. What's your occupation? What's your trade? Well, you could tell them I'm king all day long. They're going to be looking at you, and what they see before their face is a shepherd. I'm sorry, get behind the line. Next. Right? But if you dress like a king, no matter what, they're going to say, well, it's very hard to get this kind of color purple. Only wealthy people can have access to this indigo. Only wealthy people can have all these gems and beads and stuff. All right, come on in, fair fellow.
Yeah, they look at your the way how you're well manicured too.
Well, I mean, unless you're a Hessman.
If you're kept, if you smell like horses,
For those who know
or if you smell like olives or something, or roses or something, you know.
For those who know what a Hessman is.
If your hands are all rough like sandpaper, or if you had smooth fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes people will look the other way because they will think, because you can explain your way out of that. It says, well, yeah, I'm King so and I fell off my horse and I was stranded for 3 days, so and this happened, and coming from the battle, and whatever. And then you can say whatever it is. And we have examples of kings changing garments in war. And, I think that's in the book of Kings. Y'all can look that up. Let's move on to our next, Brother Shay. Let's move on to the next. All right. Garments can indicate gender also. Kiefer, let's get it.
Deuteronomy 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto you, thy Elohim.
All right, before you read the next passage, brethren, this picture is a painting, a real painting that was done in an era when men dressed like this. Not just every man, but the aristocrats, the rich, the wealthy people dressed. Look at the red pumps the dude got on right there. Mm-hmm. Right? And the stockings. Look at that. And back in those days, that was a sign of wealth, prestige, access, with a cane in your hand. And, look at the wig. Black, the finest wig, and the frills and all that stuff. And that type of garment was very expensive, and only certain people of the upper class will wear something like this. But let this dude show up on the street around your corner today. What do you think is going to happen to that dude?
Who knows?
I mean, if you had to take a time machine, Kifa, and go back,
it depends.
Would you be, and you got some money, it will behoove you.
It wouldn't behoove
No
me.
pun intended.
No puns either.
Listen, you have money. It's expected that people in a certain class to be dressed like that back in those days, right? You, Brother Barrett, Piedmont Park, got beaten. Well, yeah, you getting beaten today. But Brother Barry, if you had money,
we do not promote.
If you had money, a lot of money and access and stuff like that, Brother Barry, you would have to dress like that. Can you imagine seeing yourself with a smooth shaven face and long stockings and pumps like that, red pumps?
Deuteronomy 22, verse 5.
All right, Kifa, let's look at something in the letter of Jeremiah that's found in the Apocrypha, chapter 1, verses 31, 33. And this is dealing with role switching, right? Let's read.
And the priests sit in their temples, having their clothes rent, and their heads and beards shaven, and nothing upon their heads. The priests also take off their garments and clothe their wives and children.
All right. Now, this is when Israel came into Babylon. They noticed how the people behaved themselves, how the priests conducted themselves. And so the priests of Babylon used to take their clothes off and give it to their wives. Now the wives would run around like they're priests. That's role switching, right? And that same stuff is happening today. As a matter of fact, O'Shea, pull up.
You finished, I got a video to play.
You got a video? Pull up 2 Kings 23 and let us read 2 Kings 23. Let's read 6 and 7. As a matter of fact, we'll just read 7 for time's sake, because this is the king the king of Judah, who wanted to do what was right. And what he did was he started to tear down a lot of foolishness that his predecessor allowed to happen in Israel. And the Most High blessed him for that, right? But the interesting thing about it is that there were women working along with the Sodomites, in the fashion industry. So let's read.
And he brake down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of Uah, where the women wove hangings for the grove.
So you got women along with the Sodomites. And notice where the Sodomites were. That sounds like, in modern times, church. The average church has a bunch of Sodomites in it, right? The average church has a lot of Sodomites in it because Jesus came to save everybody. And you don't have to just come as you are. And so that's what you find back in Israel. But guess what this guy did? This king did. He tore all that nonsense down. Kicked all those dirty priests out and all the foolish incense. He got rid of that whole industry. But you see, there was a fashion industry that worked along with the Sodomites. It's not happenstance. This is not a coincidence that you have verse 7. It's talking about Sodomites, the congregation that's supposed to be the house of the Most High, and the women working together. Mm-hmm. That's a problem. Let's move on, Brother Shay. Let's go to our next slide.
Pull up this video real quick.
Okay.
Elder, you want to say something?
Yeah. Shalom, family. One of the biggest problems we have, Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, it says that a woman should not wear that pertaineth unto a man. Now, this is the problem that we have in the congregation of the Israelites. And elsewhere, the same way that the heathen women dress with the tight pants on them or pants, just like the man, the women that call themselves Israelites, you have problem with them to stop them or to obey, not to wear those garments like that. If you have to put on something tight on your pants, I think a woman should put something over it, should not expose your body. Your body is supposed to be special for your husband, not to expose it that other men will see you and all of us sit at you or call you. Because that is one of the things that attracts people. You see, that's one of the problems that is surrounding.
Elder, so if you put sugar on the table, ants will come, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So if these women put their sugar out, what's going to happen? Somebody's going to bite. All right, O'Shea.
And y'all can check out the class we did before, Dress Code 1 and 2. It touches on a lot of this stuff that we're talking about also. All right, fair use.
Are fancy on the outside. Some are fancy on the inside. Yes, sir. Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies. Yes, sir. Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine.
All right, that's all we need.
Yep. Grow up listening to that.
I tell you, apart from his voice sounding a little bit soft, the song is on point, and the song is just out of place in these times right now. Let's look at this picture again before we move on. if you have to put your hand on the top part and you look down at the rest of it, you're going to think that's a woman. Because the way the guy puts his leg out, it's like a woman trying to show her legs, right? But if you put your hand at the bottom and block the bottom out and you look up, you're going to see something a little bit confusing because the face looks a little tough. And then you got that hair, that extra hair that just, I don't know, it causes the mind to malfunction.
I mean, during that era, a lot of crazy things came out of that era. I mean, you have the Mona Lisa, you have the Statue of Liberty, which is basically a backdrop of really a man in a woman's dress. You know, the same thing with the Mona Lisa. You know, so it's a lot of that kind of twisted stuff that is built from this place, Babylon, that a lot of people are not really blindsided to believe. So.
You know, Rebbe, I'm just laughing because like the brain is the sensory is telling me something else. It's like this, the eyes are saying it can't be.
No, that's not what it is.
That's kind of tough, man. Look he has a sword there too. A big sword, not a little dagger, a big sword, you know. But hey, that's how the kings dress. And, you know, hey, a lot of people, when we were little, you had the storybooks, the forever after story about Prince Charming and he becomes a king. Well, guess what, sisters? This is how it was back in those days when the stories were written. That's the kind of king. That's how kings used to dress. So if a young boy was reading a story about Forever After with Cinderella, this is how you would have been as a king, just like this. Kifa?
Yeah. You don't see the Indian chief looking
Esau.
Like that or anything like that. This is
Esau's kings.
Esau's dukes and kings and stuff, earls and all that stuff.
All right, let's move on. Let us move on. All right, symbols on clothing can act as a talisman. Now, that's a good question. Talisman. So let's read what the talisman is. Let's read the left side, and then we'll go to the right side.
1630s, magical figure cut or engraved on stone or metal under certain observances. From French talisman, in part via Arabic talism, Purim talisman, from Byzantine Greek. Talisman, religious rite payment, early consecration ceremony, originally in ancient Greek, completion. From Talin, perform religious rites, pay tax, fulfill. From telos, end, fulfillment, completion. See telos, etymology online.
All right, that's it, Kifa. Hold 1 second. So, first thing it says is from the 1630s, it says magical figure, right? So it's something magical. It's an art, it's a piece of drawing or something engraved. Originally it was engraved, right? But notice that it starts to talk about religious aspects, religious rites. But notice it says payment. See, when people get themselves involved in something religious, they're expecting a payment. When you become a Christian, you're expecting to hit glory in a cloud somewhere, right? When you offer certain things as sacrifices, you're expecting a reward for that. Okay, people are not just doing things just because of whatever it is. They're doing it because they're expecting a reward. So the completion of this thing is I do this symbol, I wear this thing here, I'll be rewarded. That will complete the whole process. Everybody's paid. You taken care of, I'm taken care of, we're good. Okay? So everything is fulfilled, it's complete. Let's read the next part, Kifa. The root.
The root of the word talisman means to make sacred. The beauty of the art of embroidery is that it allows you plenty of time to sit with the fabric and do just that. Make it sacred. How to add magic to your clothes with embroidery.
That's from a site called How to Add Magic. How to add magic to your clothes with what? Embroidery. That's taking the needle and taking thread, it can be different colors, whatever it is, and you making that thing a picture. You're drawing designs on that. Now, we don't necessarily have to use embroidery. We have other types of methods, modern methods like inks and dyes or whatever it is that will create that design for that person to get the reward that they're looking for through sacrifice. First thing that they have to do, that this definition is telling us, is that you're making yourself set apart. Even Satan wants a person, not you, not us. Satan wants people to be set apart for him. And he wants you to identify with him. And he gives people, not us, he gives people certain patterns. Like the Most High gave Moses a pattern how the sanctuary and the priests and everything should be done. And he got artists, fashion designers. He got people, artists together. You can read Exodus 30, I think it's 31, somewhere around there and up. And you see the whole design that he placed his spirit on them. And the same way that the Most High would put the spirit on men who are artists to design certain things, is the same way the devil will put his spirit on people to design things for him. Can you read that? And this is a t-shirt of Versace, right? Kiefer, can you read that for us, please?
Gianni Versace chose it because Medusa made people fall in love with her, and they could not turn back, representing fatal, striking beauty and classical Italian heritage.
So according to what the world's supposed to know, not the true meaning, because they will put out what they want you to know. But they're telling us, and we can glean enough information to see that that symbol was chosen as a lure to attract people, that once you get it involved with that Versace stuff, you can't get rid of it. It's a talisman. It's a talisman. And down below is another form of an amulet or a talisman. Sometimes you find something interesting in the store and you buy it and you wear it around your neck, you wear it on your wrist, you wear it on your parts of your body, you pin it or whatever it is, and you think it's really nice. It's gold or silver or whatever it is. Or somebody give you a gift and you don't really look into it. You might be wearing something that attracts evil spirits, family.
Some of the things you can't see because the words are written that's only revealed with blood, or revealed with something different because of the different writings that's being put in it. So you can't see it in itself.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. And sometimes they will use threads of certain colors that, just the same way that there are people who are colorblind. They can't see, I think it's red and another color. I think it's green. It looks a different way to them, right? They can create things that your regular eyes will not be able to pick up. They can use inks that is colored in a certain way. You know, sometimes you look up in the sky, you see clouds. And when you look at the clouds, it says, well, wait a minute, that looks like a bear. Mm-hmm. And you tell a person, hey, what do you think that looks like? And they'll tell you it looks like a lion. They'll tell you it looks like something else. But in your eyes, you can see what it looks like. In your mind, it looks like a bear.
Eye of the beholder.
And then sometimes you may have to explain to the person, see the leg is right there? See the head is right there? See the eyes? Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about. Right? Have you ever noticed that certain people buy art, that when you look at that art, you're saying that's a piece of garbage? Mm-hmm. But that piece of art is $1 million in the gallery with security. If you steal that thing, if you even put some chewing gum on that thing, you know, you're like, man, this is ugly. And you put a piece of used chewing gum on that thing, you may get arrested, because to them, that's their sacred art. Garbage is beautiful for these people, but it's garbage for you. Let's move on. The The Most High has warned us certain aspects of garments. There are spiritual components to garments which are unseen to the naked eye. There's certain spiritual components to clothing that we don't really see with our eyes. But there's a demonic force or spirit behind it, and the Most High is warning us, don't mess with this stuff. So let's read Deuteronomy 22 and 11 and Joshua 6 and 18.
Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together.
Let's pause for a minute, keep up. Now, we can take it as just only woolen and linen, but when I was studying this thing today, I started to think, the Most High says, as woolen and linen. He didn't say only woolen and linen, but he's given us an example because that's the type of stuff that we had available to us. Does that make sense? You shall not wear a garment of diverse sorts. Stop, pause. So garments should not be of mixed. I think that's what he's saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I read. And then he uses an example, as of woolen and linen. Now, this is a problem for us today because almost everything that we wear it's made from a mixture of polyester, which is plastic or oil, and cotton or some type of processed material, plant material. There's so many different types of stuff out there, and they have these names to it that will confuse you. And you got to take your phone, and try to look up, what is this thing here? 70% this, 20% that, 5% this, whatever it is. And it's a whole mixture of stuff. And then you try to figure out, well, why am I not having children? Why am I having allergies? Why is my body a certain way? Because a lot of these things here are messing with the frequency of our bodies, and it's creating allergies in our system. Some of us know that when you wear polyester, some people break out with hives or whatever it is, right? Is that correct?
Yep.
You have an allergic interaction with these things. Your body, your skin is the largest, organ. Okay, so let's read Joshua 6 and 18.
And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed. When ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it.
Now this is heavy. This is really heavy. Let's look at this carefully. He says, without any, listen, there's no way that you should take anything that's a curse. He says, keep yourself from the accursed thing, lest you make yourself accursed. So the accursed thing, once you get yourself involved in it, like you can see this picture over here, Satan is behind the sewing machines making garments as an example. When you touch this thing, you become just as the thing itself. He says, when you take of the accursed thing, not only is it affecting you, but you will also affect the whole house. He says, the camp of Israel, a curse, and you're going to trouble it. Now, we don't really pay much attention to this because most of us are just selfish. We don't think about other people. We don't think about the well-being of other people. We only think about how we look and look at me, and we buy what we want, and we don't care. We don't give a damn about anything. But the Most High has always regarded the whole house of Israel as one. Not like you have your own little thing, you do what you want, your family could behave however you want to raise your children. That's cool. I'm going to raise my children. You can't talk to me. It wasn't like that in ancient times. Right? We paid a huge price. If I was walking on the street crooked as ever, right? My actions will cause the whole area, the whole neighborhood, all the people to be accursed too. So we have to check people out carefully. Is that correct? Anything you want to say on that?
Well, no, because it's basically given us a separation. There are things that are cursed, and there are things that are not cursed. There are things that attain and hold certain energies and properties, and there are things that don't. So within our word, it is telling us what we can and cannot do, or what we should be aware of. And you can check out that class that we did also, HR 670-1, part 1 and 2, on this same very thing, and the accursed things, part 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, those are good classes. Let's go to our next.
In the first deal, the second deal, the third and the fourth deal, there were many things that were touched in regards to these classes. And that scripture we just read a few minutes ago in regards to garments, all four of those classes come back to the same thing with this. The garments, in a sense, as far as taking a certain type of job or taking a certain type of education, puts you in a position to put yourself in the same line as the garments. Mm-hmm. You're mixing into something that you really don't know why you're mixing into it. You only was told, well, I want to study psychology, but you don't realize that psychology brings you to a different field of things that you're supposed to touch that you're not supposed to touch, because you're messing with your psyche, and said you're messing with things that the Most High said you shouldn't mess with. And that destroys you and messes with all your thinking, and then you becomes this vessel that's not really useful in the sense.
Yeah, absolutely right, Kiba. Very good point. So on the screen we have allegiances, right? What's an allegiance? It is who you give an oath to, right? Who you hold in high regard, who you are in line with, right? And in this picture, everybody can see something is wrong. This is a young man who's dressed in something that not even women should be wearing unless a woman is in her own home. She want to dress scantily, however you want to call it, the terms. If she want to dress a certain way in her house, it's in her house with her husband. She can, whatever. But look at this. This is a young man, and again, he is very effeminate. Look at the shoes again that he's wearing. Same shoes, right? This is a little snapshot. Musicians who perform rituals that look like satanic worship, right? And you have a whole list of them here. Sam Smith, Travis Scott, Lil Nasty X, Doja Cat, Beyonce, what's the other one? Playboy Cardi or whatever it is, Marilyn Manson, and Mariana Abramovich, right? So all of these people, as an example, has dressed a certain way and give certain performances. And according to this little picture here, it says it's tied to worship. It speaks of who you are in allegiance with. And if so, okay, if the people are saying that this type of stuff is tied to a worship, the way that these people dress, what about us?
Yeah.
The way that we dress, does it also connect to who we worship?
Yes,
Brethren?
Absolutely. Yeah. You represent what you, like someone in the chat said, you are a walking billboard. You're basically advertising, you're supporting, you are representing. There's many words we can use. Yeah, who we represent. So again, that's why uniforms come into play. It advertises what you stand for, what you represent, who you're representing. So if it walks like a duck, has feathers, it has a bill, and it has web feet, and it's quacking, then we call it a duck.
Yeah.
Therefore, we're looking at these pictures, and they all represent satanic rituals. Mm-hmm. That's just the fact of the matter.
And when you look at the screen to the far right bottom, everybody's basically have some kind of a red and horns, right? And that guy with the third eye, he's from Puerto Rico.
Bad Bunny.
And he has a very unusual stage name, Bad Bunny, a bad rabbit. And bunnies are known to be, when you think about bunnies, it's supposed to be something like sexual or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we used to look at cartoons with Bugs Bunny, and he plays the same thing, dress up the same way, behaves
Good
the same
point.
way.
Good point.
Kisses Elmer Fudd and everything else. So this, the things that you thought was funny when you was a child, you realize that you shouldn't even have been watching these things.
Yep.
And cartoons, they put it in a very nice little name, but it was more damaging later on in life as you realize that it messes you up.
And that's what I said last time. I said the way how the enemy operates is he would put things in laughter so we can readily accept it. They would have certain tunes behind of it so we can readily accept it. To certain smells that we can readily accept it. But if it's by itself and we know it's poison, we won't take it.
I mean, Count Dracula is right on the bottom there. You really have to go for all the characters of Sesame Street here. You see Count Dracula is the one on the bottom, Abramovich. You go up, you have Grover right up there with Lil Nas X. You go across, you get Oscar.
So this is Sesame Street?
This is basically Sesame Street in big form. But, there's nothing else you can say about this stuff,
All right, let's pull that to the side and let's look at these links. Let's click on the first one. This is from Tag24, a news site. And the question is, why are so many celebrities going wild for Mason Margiella's Tabby cloven hoof shoes? This is in 2024, right? And we don't have to read. We're just going to scroll through and see the images over here. You got the Kardashians, Miley Cyrus, Dua Lipa, Ariana Grande, Nick Jonas, Olivia Rodrigo. Excuse me. I'm sure some of these names are familiar with you and maybe the audience later on. But again, why are they going for so many clothing? So here you have Miley Cyrus. Go back up real quick. We'll come back to that part. Right there, to the left.
Yeah.
Right. And she's shown the satanic one-eye demon look. Okay. And I'm not sure what she has covering her breasts and stuff, but then look at her feet.
Yeah.
Right? Goat foot type stuff. Then the other one in the middle. Look at the bottom, goat foot, horse feet, or whatever it is. Well, not horse, goat, cloven. Then you have the other young lady who's acting in Spider-Man. That's Zendaya, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Right? And look what she got on. A softer version of it. Now you can scroll down to the bottom. And look at the shoes. Okay? But the way that they try to get over this is saying, well, that's the Japanese style. No. You think the Japanese will have shoes like this and then have demonic headpieces and black things that look satanic? When you look at it, it says, that's the devil right there. We're not talking about a ninja who need to have his feet in such a way that he have to climb on ropes, right, to sneak attacks and throw darts with his toes or something. That's not what this is. This is not a shoe of function. This is a shoe of praise. This is a shoe of glorification.
Yep.
That's right, you girl. This is Baphomet stuff. Okay, this is Baphomet stuff. You can keep going down. And I think that's a dirty bunny. I think that's the dirty bunny right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
SpongeBob shoes.
Yeah, even in the cartoon with SpongeBob, huh? So they're trying to make it about the Japanese. Nope. It's not about the Japanese. Go further down to the Japanese style thing.
But you see this big shoe in front of the restaurant?
Yeah. That's the Japanese shoe, right? The ninja shoe.
Yeah.
Keep going down. Now, when you look over here, you can see why the socks or whatever was a certain way, because you got to fit those sandals on. Okay? And it formed the thing that way. But that's different. That's a function. So you can grasp, so your toes can grasp the string, the cord, right? To hold your shoe together. That's different. Okay? So let's get out of that. Let's go to the next link, number 2. I want you all to see this stuff. This is from the Sun, English, British newspaper. And it says, totally odd. Goat shoes are set to be 2019's next big shoe trend. And they make your feet look like hooves. Now, look at this sodomite dude right there with a big old Adam's apple. O'Shea, make it a little bigger so everyone can see his Adam apple. Or I should call it Eve's apple. Eve's apple. Look at it right there.
Yeah, that's the look that, I forget what it's called, where a lot of the Europeans in fashion, that's what they portray, where you look both male and female. There's a term, there's a literal term that they call it. We talked about this before. And it has that soft feminine look to it. So you don't know if it's a man or a woman. No, not unisex. Yes, androgynous. Thank you. Androgynous. That's the term right there.
Yeah.
That's what they try to push. So it confuses the person. Like I said, in our brains, who we know what a man's supposed to look like and what a woman's supposed to look like. The nerves are twitching. Your eyes something's wrong. You're looking like that's a dude or a woman.
Hey, O'Shea,
You just want to get you ready to just lay some hands on them.
Away.
back in the 80s, you had bands like Duran Duran and a lot of these groups, super groups that came from England and so forth, and David Bowie and so forth, all them guys with makeup, right? And a lot of females would be chasing after dudes like that. Then you had on the black side, you had Prince. And a lot of these other bands and stuff that would be, with makeup and whatever it is. You can go down to, look at that shoe. Look at the shoes. Y'all see the shoes? Does anybody have a pair of these in their closet?
Uh-oh.
No way.
Put some fringes on there.
Come on, kill it. Kill that. That's sodomite music.
It just came on.
Yeah. You notice the boots. Okay, look how it's sewn and stuff. Anybody got that's 600. Oh my goodness, brother Shay. Come on.
It's
all right, that's it. No more.
It just comes on. It has nothing to do with me.
You just scrolling, that's what happens.
When you go down you tell me go down to look at the picture, that just pops up. All right, let me pull this up. Hold on a second.
Go to image.
I just want y'all to see what I was talking about here.
Okay, make it a little bit bigger. How many of y'all sisters will, if y'all was, y'all about 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, you're not married yet, would turn eyes. Will turn eyes. Sister Angela, don't say no before I finish my sentence. Will turn eyes and says, yes, I'm looking for a nice, sexy guy like that. I don't want no rough dude and beard and all that stuff.
You see, Rebbe, in the occult, this is what they practice. Represent spiritual whole. That's that Baphomet spirit. That's what homosexuality is all about. It pushes both energies, as they would say.
Is there any hope for Israelite men these days? Or do we have to go this road to get the attention of our women? Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Their gods always look soft and these gods are men right here. Over here where you have the divine, whatever it is for the Indian
Yeah.
gods, those are men, not women. Okay.
That's Baphomet stuff.
Yeah. All right. We can go back.
Wicked. You can close it out. Let's go back to the next. Hopefully, the next one is not going to have any music. All right. Look at this one. This is high nobiety. Highs nobiety. Snobiety. Drake's current obsession: trash bag pants and horse hoof shoes. Look at him. Look at the pants. Look at the shoes.
Stupid. Well, you see, a lot of times these artists, celebrities, actors, actresses, however you want to label them, they get paid by these very same demonic labels or companies to produce and to put out their garments. And the money's nice to them, but the audience who's looking at it looks at this, and now they're influencing the younger generation to wear this garbage. Like, oh, Drake wore this. This is really nice. I can wear it too.
Spirit in that.
Yes.
It's all about influence, because once the young people listen to the music, now they are possessed by it, and they want to emulate their hero, right? So Drake becomes a hero. And so they're going to go out and try to buy these pants and clothes that is cost a lot of money. And it's a bunch of garbage. All right. Let's go to our next slide whenever you're done with that. Okay. Once again, look at these pictures here, and you can see the same shoes. Neiman Marcus, a lot of folks shop there. Look at how that shoe is set up. She look just like horses.
I want a refund.
When you have 5 toes, when you have 5 toes when you buy, you have one of these shoes. How you gonna get your foot in that?
Well, Elder, we might have to get up here to find out. You know, you put the big toe in one and the rest 4 in the next.
Hey, that might be a very comfortable shoe, but guess what? Comfortable for who? Who's going to be feeling comfortable in those shoes? Right? The possessor will be possessing who's possessing those shoes. And look, I don't think anyone in Israel would be allowed to dress like that. You come around Israel wearing shoes that looks like a goat foot or a horse foot, that's a death sentence right there.
I have a stick waiting for you.
There's a specific reason why they pulled away from calling the little ones children and calling them kids.
There you
There's
go.
a specific reason.
Yep.
This is part of the whole grooming.
Call the children kids. They call their best people goats.
Yeah. So I mean, it's expected. So
Let's go to the next slide. So you got the sneakers, you got the shoes. Once again, here goes the dude. Rick Owens is the one to the left with the black goat foot looking shoe, and then
That's him right here again.
and he's a sodomite. That's the same guy with his wife. That's his wife, Michelle Lamy, right? She's a designer. They're all fashion designers. But look at the shoes. Look at the skinny jeans.
she's a spirit cooker.
This is Satan's world right here.
And look at her hands. This is how she keeps her hands, brethren.
Oh yeah,
Look, who would like to have hands like that be rested on you?
touching you.
What?
Look at those hands, those dirty hands.
Give you a good massage.
The hands that weave for other spellcasters. So she's a designer, and her job is to design stuff that the artists, the musicians, the actors, professional sports people, and other people who have that type of a thing, money, because those people are going to be the influencers for the younger generation. Her job is to put the magic on the fabric, and then the fabric becomes a talisman for demons. The wearer of these things will become all powerful, right? Okay, let's move on, O'Shea.
You must say those are hands that cast some good spells.
Now, check this out, family. You see to the far left, that is Michelle Lammy. Once upon a time, that's how she looked. And Satan was not finished with her. Look at the evolution of this woman. Look in the middle.
Yep,
Look
right.
what she's wearing. She got her arms look like the devil's wings or something. Right? Look at the hooves.
She went from that.
Yep.
And look how she looks over in the far right in the red top.
Yep. She went from transformed to that right there.
Can you imagine you marry a young lady and then over a period of time there's an evolution, and one day you walk, you never have any mirrors in the house. You remember what she looked like, right?
You scare your own self.
You go on a far journey, like the Psalm, what is it? The Proverbs 31. The lady says, "My husband's on a journey, but I'm gonna go work on some stuff and keep the house and so forth." And then you come back and you find that this is a woman that's sitting in your house. Look at that. Look at the one on the bottom. She looks like a cockroach.
That's scary.
Brethren, this may seem a little funny to you, but this is high fashion. Look, how many of you all parents have been telling your children to get a high education, to have access to money, to become doctors and lawyers and all of these types of, and keep the money going and send your children to high education schools and have access, and the children now is indoctrinated into this world. Guess where that road is taking you? It's taking you to the place where you're going to be involved in so-called high society, right? And this is the type of people that will be in the so-called circle. You don't trust? You don't believe what I'm saying? Go check it out for yourself.
I'm here reading some of the chat, right? And
Yeah.
just to conclude it, this is how the house of a demon looks. You know when Yeshua was casting out the legions, this is how their house look. This is what is occupied by armies right here. This is headquarters.
Yeah.
But, in some cases, you wouldn't see that person. You see something else. And the person that you've seen is not really. It's just a representative that shows up. This is the real person you end up with.
So she evolved from a young lady with some beauty into some demon over here. And then she evolved into a cockroach. So it depends on what night you might have her around you. You might be getting a cockroach or a demon.
Brother Gerald says, return back to the sender.
Brother Gerald, hey, we don't realize how important it is for us to keep our house in order. One loose thread can ruin the fabric.
Want that fashion bag or that fashion shoes or that
But a lot of people don't realize that when they buy the garments, they're supporting right here on the screen. This is where all the money goes to, and the praise and the worship goes to.
Well, brethren, hold on to your seat, because before you change the slide, a lot of our people only see one direction of connections, right? For example, you might have an artist, a song, oh, that's my jam. Mm-hmm. But you don't know how this jam came to be, that jam you up to make it your jam.
Jam you up.
Give you some peanut butter with it.
With a lot of unnecessary peanut butter. Yes, Brother Shay. Right? Let's give an example. Let's flip. Go to the next.
Flip it. There you go.
There you go. So this same cockroach demon woman, birds of a feather, they all stay together. Musical spellcasters. So this guy will be crooning. He'll be singing.
Well, you see, according to his song, he's giving the confessions.
Yeah, but his name.
Usher. His name is Usher, right?
Yep.
And I'm sure he has another name, but these are the people in his group, the same people in his group, as you can see how he looks, and you see he's close to that woman. Why would anybody with a good brain, before you meet anyone, you need a little bit of background, before you hug them. Somebody's going to introduce you. Oh, this is so and so and so. I'm sorry, but excuse me. You just wave at them. How you doing? Goodbye, and keep it moving. And then you'll tell your publicist or your assistant, listen, if you want to work with me, don't ever do that to me again. You follow what I'm saying? If you are in righteousness, why would you be in league with these people to design clothes for you?
Rebbe,
Or to design clothes, not just for you personally, but for you to open up your own brand, your own store.
This is part 5 we're on, okay? Remember part 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So this is why they can't separate themselves because of the deals. Now, just imagine the smell of the breath, dragon's breath.
The musty.
Look in the middle. Who do you see?
That's Jay-Z's girl.
Beyonce and another woman. And look at the demonic symbols that is there. And these people are all connected in fashion. And the fashion is all occultic by design, by occultic designers. And when they go to get their awards and stuff, that's a whole religious ceremony that you are looking at. You're thinking, okay, I'm just going to watch my favorite artist get this award. I'm so happy. They sold 10 million records, whatever it is. But you don't realize that you're participating in a whole ritual. And this is why a lot of times when you have, like, the Grammys will have a gospel award that's given out. Like Satan built this whole stage to showcase his people, and he's giving out gifts to all his people, right? And then you're going to show up and talking about the best gospel record for the year, and this, it's not like you're getting a different idol. You're getting the same idol that was given out to all the servants of Satan before. Now over to the far right, you see there's the Kardashian.
Yep, over here with the monster.
And someone had asked this question, why is this lady, that's the same, what's her name again? Michelle Lamy. Why is Michelle Lamy with all these celebrities? That's a good question. You see, again, it goes back to what you said earlier about uniform. Satan wants to make sure that all his people, it's like when you sign a record deal, they're going to bring you to their designer and they want you to look a certain way. Well, we like your sound, but let me see. We're going to make you country because you're from where? You're from Texas? Okay, we'll make you country. And we're going to come up with a new thing, new spin. We're going to call it stair rap. You're rapping stair, right? And you're going to have a rodeo. Your stage is going to be a rodeo. And we're going to put all these different things together and make you a certain way. They market you. They have a designer that gets you out for the first time. And you're thinking, hey, this is great. I'm looking good. I'm smelling good. You know what I mean? And I'm out there and I'm making my money. That's just the first year.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at the picture. I thought this was her husband, but this is the head of her husband that she wears on her clothing.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah. If you pull up some other pictures of her, she's walking around with the head sculpture of her husband on her. Or the demon.
That's like a bag or something of her husband's head. That's the guy. Go back.
Yeah, that's her husband.
Go back. Go a couple of slides back. Right there. That guy.
Yeah,
that's him right there.
Yeah. So this is part of the garment.
All right. Let's move forward. Next slide. There you go. This is what's ASAP Money or what ASAP or whatever his name is.
I think Rihanna's husband or something like that.
Rihanna's husband. And there he is with a picture with that same woman. And there goes the guy who supposedly said that he's an Israelite now. Kanye, the lost Hebrew West. Right? Kanye, the lost Hebrew West. Look at the amount of gods he has in his shirt. That's an occult shirt he has on. Look at it. Those Hindu gods.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's there with a designer. And he himself is in the fashion world. A lot of these artists, there's also contribute and participate different ways and have their own brand or whatever it is with these same people. They have their own thing and they're... Anyway, so this person had a tweet, David Ford Productions, Michelle Lamy isn't just fashion's dark muse. She's a quiet bridge. She's a quiet bridge between LVMH, luxury, and rap culture. Do y'all see it? Influencing aesthetics, artists, and avant-garde power circles long before it was mainstream. So quiet means behind the scenes, she's doing her dark. When it says dark muse, that's witchcraft. And she's a bridge between the fashion world and what? Luxury and rap music, brethren. So a lot of things that you see these artists are wearing comes from these same people that already made the deal. And when you put on their stuff, you're thinking that I'm going to be cool or whatever it is. No, you are wearing a talisman. You're wearing something that's going to attract familiar spirits. Let's go to our next slide, Brother Shay. Glamour. This is a noun. Let's read that.
Glamour, Scottish magic enchantment, especially in phrase to cast the glamour, a variant of Scottish garmery, magic enchantment spell, said to be an alteration of English grammar, in a specialized use of that word's medieval sense of any sort of scholarship, especially occult learning. The latter sense attested from c. 1500 in English, but said to have been more common in medieval Latin. The sense of magical beauty, alluring, charm, is recorded by 1840 as that quality of attractiveness, especially associated with Hollywood, high fashion, celebrity, etc., by 1939.
So, as you can see, family, glamour is another word for magic and enchantment. It's the same word used for grammar. When you go to school, you're learning grammar. You're learning occult learning, magic, spellings to spell. Oh, I'm going to be a spelling bee. No, that's witchcraft. So when you look at the grammar magazine, you're thinking, oh, it's about looking good. No, it's witchcraft. Because all of these things, remember, Satan was a very attractive angel. The Bible says he had all types of stones on him. The book of, Ezekiel? All types of stones on him. He knows about this thing. So you think it's about fashion and beauty? No. This is about ritual. Okay? It's all about ritual. Let's move on, O'Shea. All right, family. Now this is going to get a little interesting. So when we were little, we used to recite these things in kindergarten or daycare or Head Start or whatever you want to call it, wherever you live. Yankee Doodle da da dee dee dee. So we sing that thing, right? And we're thinking it's a song about, early America, Americana, right? The days when it was that America was young and being patriotic and all that stuff. But in the song, there's a portion that says, call it macaroni. And as children, you're thinking, macaroni, yeah, macaroni and cheese, macaroni, yes. Brethren, we've talked about this before. Macaroni has nothing to do with macaroni and cheese. Brother Shay, let's pull up the PDF. Let's pull that to the side. Let's take a look at the PDF.
While I'm pulling this up here, I was doing some reading in the background about the same Michelle character. She is a witch, high priestess for Hollywood. Behind the scenes, deal with fashion. And she's older. She's 20 years older than her husband.
Well, if anything, you could probably pull it up if it's not going to be too long. The macaroni in Yankee Doodle is not what you think. Okay, it's not what you think. So scroll down just a little bit and let's just read through some of the stuff here. Make it a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. Okay, so let's go up and let's read for what it says, though the song.
Or though the song set to an upbeat melody appears to satirize Americans, it is today treated as a patriotic anthem. Anyone who is not given proper context that Yankee Doodle was originally created by the British to ridicule Americans and that American soldiers reclaimed it during the Revolutionary War.
All right, you can stop there. So the British mocked the Americans that they didn't have any class, okay? And then when the Americans were winning, they flipped it around and put it back on the British and so forth. It was mocking each other. Let's go down to the next part. So we're going to skip all. Let's get right there, just the highlighted part. The macaroni. Let's read what that is.
The macaroni in question does not, however, refer to the food, but rather to a fashion trend that began in the 1760s among aristocratic British men.
Aristocratic British men. That's the rich dudes, right? Scroll down. Let's go to the next part. So upper class, right there. In Yankee Doodle.
Yankee Doodle, then, the British were mocking what they perceive as the Americans' lack of class.
So they would mock you. You don't have all this class to dress up and to wear these big wigs and stockings and all that stuff. Look at this. These are doctors, and you can read the bottom of it. These are doctors, professional men with their wigs hanging on the wall in the back because they wanted to look macaroni. See what it says in the bottom? 2 macaroni doctors. So if you're a doctor and you want to be up with the rest of the doctors and not be looked down as some low-class doctor and to have access in the medical field, you have to be macaroni. Okay? Let's read that part, but
what is fascinating about those fashionable British macaronis, how quickly they fell out of favor, and how within a decade a word that once denoted worldliness became synonymous with excess and male femininity.
See that? So now it's associated with men being soft, sodomites. So let's read on. It helps.
It helps to think of the macaronis in waves. The first wave, those aristocrats returning from the grand tour in the 1760s, made macaronis fashion emblematic of social status, while their rather large wigs and slim clothing were seen as a bit feminine.
That's all. Just read the highlighted parts. So the slim clothes, back in the 1700s was noted as being soft like a woman.
Yeah, but they have skinny jeans today.
Soft as a woman. Let's get the next part. But
in the 1770s, as macaroni's fashion spread beyond its aristocrat roots, these traces of femininity were amplified many times over. Thus came the second wave, when macaroni men were defined by their effeminacy.
See that? Being soft. Let's go to the next part.
As the Macaroni and Theatrical magazine noted, at this time the word macaroni changed its meaning.
All right, that's it. It changes meaning. So look at the picture right here. This is the what do you call it? The hairdresser. If you look at his head, look at the hairdresser's head. He got a couple combs in there. He got the scissors, and his job was to go take care of the aristocrat. See, the aristocrat had a big, long, zoom in so you can see the long hair attachment. See, it was in a bun, rolled up. Look at that nastiness. Huh?
Look like the same woman. That's probably her. See the teeth?
Yeah. But look, these are the same people that had our people in captivity. No, don't go too fast, Brother Shay. Go back up. Let's go at the bottom. Read what it says. Now, sir, you're complete macaroni. Now, sir, you're a complete macaroni. Okay, let's scroll down slowly. Let's go to the next. In England, let's read that part.
In England at the time, masculinity was about moderation. Masculine men were polished but not extravagant, and their wigs were sober. Women, in contrast, did not wear wigs.
All right, so you can see the men were wearing wigs, but the women were not wearing wigs. Something ain't right, Mishpachah. Let's read the next highlighted part.
That macaroni emulated many facets of female dress did not escape the notice of English commentators, who variously referred to macaronis as that doubtful gender, hermaphrodites, and amphibious creatures.
Doubtful gender. All right, let's read on.
One song described a macaronis as thus: his tapper waist so straight and long, his spindle shanks like pitchforks prong. To what sex does the thing belong? 'Tis called a macaroni.
Macaroni. So here we are as children. You're supposed to be a good child in school. You're sent to school to listen to the teacher. And the teacher starts singing Yankee Doodle, ding, 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 and you're singing the song. And you're thinking, I'm being a good student. I'm going to get my happy face. I'm going to get my little spit star, the star that they spit on, and they stick it on the little board. And you look at your name on the wall, and you got like 10 stars for the week and good grades. And look, I'm doing so good. And you're singing these songs. Have no idea it's dealing with a bunch of sodomite, demonic stuff. So I'm going to school, busting my tail for education, not knowing I'm being educated for the forces of darkness.
That's right.
Thank you. What a good thing that was, huh? Singing all the songs of nonsense, of blasphemy. And then when your child turns out to be a certain way, you want to be upset. You don't even check to see what's going on. Well, we were just ignorant. Let's read the next part. The Oxford
magazine similarly described the macaroons as...
It's not macaroons. It's not macaronis. It's macaroni. You know about macaroni, like potato, bread, macaroni, Kifa. Macaroni. Let's get it right.
The Oxford magazine similarly described the macaroni as not belonging to the gender binary. There is indeed a kind of animal, neither male nor female, a thing of neuter gender, lately started up among us. It is called a macaroni.
Y'all see that? It's neither male nor female. It's a kind of an animal. It's gender neutral. That's Baphomet.
Androgynous. That's what I said earlier. Androgynous.
Look at this thing. This is a macaroni. Look at that dude. with a mold. They normally draw a little mold on their face to make them look sophisticated and powder their faces.
Look like a drag.
Yes. You know what I mean? Look at that. That's how George Washington was too. Talking about the father of our nation. You know, it's not my father.
Pantheon macaroni.
Always pan.
Okay, let's scroll down. Let's see if there's anything else that we want to get in there.
In one caricature entitled, "What is this, my son Tom?" A farmer pokes at his son's wig with a whip, unable to believe that his son has taken on such an effeminate dress. The son, meanwhile, is presented as ridiculous. His hair and pigtails are gigantic. His cane is inexplicably tasseled, and he carries around a decorative sword.
And it was some glitters on there. Look at his sword.
So look at the top of the head. The patriot, the hat. You know, that colonial hat can't even fit on top of that thing, that beehive with all them big curls and stuff. Look at that. That's his son. He says, "Is this my son Tom?" What happened to Tom?
Come here, Tom.
Look at Tom. And he has a whip. You need to take the whip and beat Tom with that whip.
Tassels around the sword and
yeah, Fruity Loops pants.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And soft sandals. All right, you can scroll down and see if there's anything else we want to get from that. Right there, the cartoon.
Like skunks.
The cartoon's description captures the remorse of an older generation convinced that its youth were wrecking the culture. The honest farmer, come to town, can scarce believe his son, his own. If thus the taste continues here, what will it be? Another year?
All right, stop right there. So the father is saying, the farmer, everybody knows about farmers. The honest farmer come to town, can scarce believe his son, his own. Like, is this my son? If thus the taste continues here, if this trend continues here, what will it be another year? What's going to happen next year? My son is evolving into something else, and not just that alone, but this demonic spirit is going to be an influence to others. I remember years ago, there was a band called Culture Club. And the first time I heard it on the radio, I was like, oh, this is reggae. This is like, okay, it's kind of cool. Like, the English is trying to bring out, like, mix some reggae and make it popular, and like bring reggae to the masses, right? And then you see this person look like a girl dancing on the stage, talking about she'll tumble for you, and you're thinking, okay, this is a woman. Then when you hear the name of the person, Boy George, like what, what's going on? What? Boy George. And so they were basically spreading this propaganda, right? There's soft tissue all over the place. Let's scroll down, see if anything else in there. Okay, you can close it out then.
Nasty macaroni.
Let's go back to the slide. So there you go. I want you to blow up. Well, you got something, Brother Shay?
I'll pull up after.
Okay, I want you to blow up what we as children and what our children are exposed to. You see that Play Bees for the children? It has the children type font, very attractive. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, and scroll down and you see the little cartoon and you're thinking, oh, this is so good. He's on a pony, got a feather in his hat, and he called it macaroni. And you think, oh, ha, 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 macaroni. Not realizing it's a whole effeminate, hermaphrodite, sodomite, Baphomet nonsense that's going on here, family.
Stallion, all types of nasty conversation going on here.
Yeah.
What you got to show? What you got for us, Brother Shay?
Dandies and handies. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. I sent it.
Flying fist of Judah.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Let me make it big so y'all can see it.
Man, oh man.
Because we got to expose it so people can know. We can read this little part right here. It says, Michelle Lamy doesn't walk into a room. She appears as if conjured from smoke and silver. See? Tells you where she's born and make it a little bit bigger.
Born in Jarrah, France, to a family with Algerian roots. She grew from a lawyer and cabaret owner into one of fashion's most magnetic figures. Her gold teeth flashes like secret omens. Silver talismans clink against hyena-darkened fingers.
Or henna darkened.
Henna.
That's that ink.
Kohl circles her eyes so deeply that it feels like she's staring from another century.
Yeah, that's the devil. Devil came from another century.
We could jump down to here now. And then that's basically
The
it.
fashion world calls her the high priestess of Rick Owens. Some call her an artist, others a muse. In more superstitious corners, she's allegedly a witch. The kind who can dress you in something that changes your fate.
That's right. She will change your fate. Look at that. We got to read no more, but I just
She got
wanted to show you the pictures.
amulets on her body. She have silver amulets.
How old is that thing?
She's 80 plus.
Probably over
80
now.
plus. From a different century. He's in his 60s and she's in her 80s.
Yeah, sure he is.
See?
Yeah. Type with that witch you done.
All right, that's enough right here.
All right, let's move on for time's sake. Let's go to our next slide. Hero magazine put out this little piece from McQueen to Dior on picking fashion's love affair with the occult. If you can pull that to the side and look, let's take a quick look. We're not going to read much out of it, but we're just going to kind of like scroll through it a little bit. See that demonic? That's a fashion. That's a fashion thing right there.
Runway that they walk on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just scroll down. Look at the occult clothing. The Baphomet, and this is Christian Dior. Okay. And a lot of people, a lot of Israelites, a lot of people buy their stuff. And all we're doing is financing the kingdom of Satan. Look at that demonic clothes, right? Occultic clothing. Death. Look at that. That's pagan clothes, right? For the rites, the summer rites.
Those, what you call them, Wicca, the Wiccan.
The Wiccan, yeah. See the Wiccan broomstick and all that stuff? Twisted broom. Okay, that's all we need from that. You can close that out. And let's go back to the slide. Okay, to the far right, beyond the independent trailblazers, most brands now champion LGBTQ plus inclusion in fashion, and often beneath the surface of that celebration lies a profitable margin. So these fashion designers are pushing the sodomite agenda. That's their job. Their job is to pull you into darkness. And you can see by this thing right here, we're not going to read much into it. We just want to look. And we just took that quote from this same thing, O'Shea. But you can see that the whole queer community, that's what this is about. Pushing that same thing with men dressed like women and that kind of stuff. You can close that out. Let's go to the link on the bottom for Wikipedia, right there. Now this is interesting because what I wanted you all to see from this is we're not reading, but we're just looking. You have from A to Z. Look how many designers that are sodomites out there, and a lot of them are designing things that are being worn by many people today. Okay, whether it's high fashion or low fashion, the industry, fashion industry or clothing industry, garment industry is run by sodomites.
That's why you just buy the plain t-shirt or shirt and make your own stuff.
All right, so you can close that out. Let's go to our next slide. All right, this is from these quotes right here is from the editorialist.com fashion industry about the sodomite influence. Let's go through this, Kifa, from 1 to 4.
You have Miss J. Alexander, otherwise known as the Queen of the Catwalk. Without the queer community, we would never had the Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks drama.
All right, stop. So this person is saying without the sodomites, there will be no Naomi Campbell. There'll be no Tyra Banks. These are people who are famous in the fashion world. Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell. Okay, let's read number 2.
The clothes you're wearing are probably made by a queer person.
Read it one more time, Kifa.
The clothes you're wearing are probably made by a queer person.
Stop. So think about that. All right, let's read the quote.
The LGBTQIA plus community has kept you looking and feeling your best self for decades.
Feeling your best self for decades, Keith?
Designing everything from key accessories like the saddlebag to the Sex and the City approved Manolo Blalinks.
Number 3.
Runway makeup wouldn't be what it is without drag queens.
Makeup wouldn't be what it is without drag queens. Let's go ahead, read.
Selfie makeup, contour, and jaw-dropping highlights were not simply a gift from the gods. They came from queens, drag queens to be exact.
It says that selfie makeup, contour, and jaw-dropping highlight were not simply a gift from the gods. I highlighted that for a reason. Because that's something that make you go, wait a minute. So they're saying it's a gift from the gods. We don't know of one Elohim. So what gods are they talking about?
The little gods.
They came from queens. What kind of queens? Men who act like women, to be exact.
Macaronis, right?
The macaronis, yeah. All right, let's go to number 4. The next slide. Number 4.
The queer community helped defy fashion binaries. Since nearly the beginning of time, dressing fell into one of 2 camps, male and female. The former was regulated to tailored suits and polished shoes, whereas the latter was given the uniform of corseted ensembles and skirts that fell below the knee, shutters. Thanks to fashion deviants, most notably from the queer community, these clothing confines were challenged and tested, paving the way for the sartorial freedom we have today.
All right, read the noun behind the word deviance for those who don't know what that means.
One who goes astray is from 1540, small s.
One who deviates or goes astray. So they're saying Thanks to those who went astray. Thanks to those people who deviated from the path of righteousness. Thanks to them, we have the fashion industry that we see today, breaking the lines between men and women so that a woman can dress like a man and a man can dress like a woman, and it's cool. We're going to make wickedness cool, right? That's what this is saying. Let's move on.
And that ties back into the Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb; they go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies, because they're lying to you about their gender stuff that's going on.
Meet the idols, family. Let's see the idols. These are the people who act in movies and sing the songs that we all bump to. Bump, 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 bump. You know what I mean? You have the actor over here, Oscar Isaac, who acted as Apocalypse in X-Men, and he acted in All About the Benjamins, you know, laughing. You laugh your way into wickedness. You accept it through laughter, right? Look at how he's dressed, in a skirt. Then you have, again, in GQ magazine, A$AP Rocky, dressed in another thing again. But they try to hide it as if it's some Scottish kilt. Now, let me say this. Are any of these guys Scottish? The guy over here, Oscar Isaac, he's from Guatemala, I think. He's not Scottish. The other one definitely is not from Scotland.
It's nasty one in the corner.
And then you have a shirt pulled up over your, I mean, come on now. And then you have Kid Cudi. A dude in a dress.
You got the cooties.
You got the cooties there too. Let's go to the next.
It's painful.
Look at this right here. Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, that's a sparkling vampire over there.
There's a next.
And a lot of sisters be watching it. I like that show. It's about vampires. Yeah, vampires sucking your spirit out.
Twinkling twilights. And there goes the pit.
Twinkling twilights, yeah.
This is the barbecue pit right here.
Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. That is who is he again now? He's Troy, not Troy. He acted as in that Greek movie. He acted as Alexander the Great. Didn't he? Achilles. Thank you. See, brother Bonds, you know the shows, huh?
Yeah, Troy. That's what he acted in.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And then you have Russell Westbrook. Look at that dude. Now, go back to the first slide, the one before this, O'Shea, and look at Oscar Isaac's foot. Notice he got two different colors of socks, one stripe. Now, move forward.
Wait,
look at Russell Westbrook's foot.
Look at the shirt here, too, and his in black and white.
Look at Russell Westbrook's foot or feet.
Mm-hmm. Like the other one, on the first one.
That dude looked like he's the voodoo guy from James Bond. Remember that James Bond show when he was in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Let's go to our next slide. There goes Samuel Jackson. Now, is Samuel Jackson Scottish? Huh? Then you have the dirty dog, Snoopy. Is he Scottish? Or is he from Crenshaw, Campton, or one of the places in California?
From the LBC.
Look at him. Is he Scottish?
Yeah.
Then you have the Far West, Kanye the Far West. Look at him.
Yay.
All right, let's move on. These are the people that's supposed to be. Oh, go back, Brother Shay, real quick. Click on that link down below. That link right there. And you can kind of scroll through it a little bit. Look at all that nonsense.
Just get a big stick out and start beating.
Look at that dude right there.
Get all kind of nasty rats going crazy.
Y'all see that? I mean, we don't have to go through all of it, but that gives you.
All the actors and actresses, all these are.
Look at that nonsense.
Isn't he the one that played as the what's that superhero creature, the bat or the vampire or whatever it is?
Is that Morbius?
Morbius. That's Morbius right there.
Is it?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. That's Morbius.
Well, he's in the right place.
Oh yeah, and this nasty one. Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that's be with at the White House the other day singing or whatever?
All right, let's move. You can close that out. Basically, repeating some of the same stuff.
I'm getting a headache.
Okay.
Bunch of sick peoples.
And just recently in the news, they are talking about allowing the men now to join, the so-called transgender men to join women's sports. And there's a guy that's coming from the NBA that's trying to go into the WNBA.
That's not gonna work out.
All right. Look at this one, family. This is from Azuro
That's a man.
site. It says, is dresses for men the new trend? Is dresses for men the new trend? Right? Breaking the boundaries and stereotypes of gender with fashion. So somebody woke up one day and says, hey, men have been doing this thing for too long one way. It's time to switch it up now. Don't be afraid, men, to tap into your feminine side. Feminine side? I didn't know there was such thing as a feminine side. You tap into it. How do you tap into it? Well, you can wear this, you can wear that. Look at those guys with supposedly suits. Excuse me, but the suits are like dresses. Y'all see that?
Yep.
And then on the other side, you got men with pink and all kinds of crazy stuff talking about his fashion. And you see the pictures, the little like the graphics that you see on the black sweater. A lot of these things are occult symbols.
Yep.
Occult symbols, and it's put out like anime. It's put out Japanese occult that a lot of people don't know much about, but it's a lot of occult stuff. Click on that link, O'Shea. Is dresses for men the new trend? So we can just peek this a little bit. And look at the men's. Look at those shoes. Look at the shoes that they're wearing, and notice that it has the socks.
Yeah.
One is black and one is black striped. That's gender bending.
That's the same thing we saw in that commercial I showed with Celine Dion with the black and the white.
And they got some weird looking dudes. You know what I mean? Weird looking dudes. I mean, this is crazy. Look at that nonsense. For the prairie. And look at Jaden Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith's
It's not his fault. all sacrificial. Give the children
with a flower in his hair. Imagine that. And remember David the Dirty Bowie?
him.
Yeah. Dressed as a woman with a bunch of demonic cards on the floor. Dresses for men, the new manly image, the new, quote, manly image. Look at these men that are posing with these dresses on, talking about it's manly.
Yeah,
Boy.
nasty rat.
Okay? And as you scroll down, you'll see some more wickedness. And you can keep scrolling down, and that's all you see is just corruption.
This is fashion.
That's fashion. Bunch of wickedness. Keep going down. Right there. Notice that this dude has black fingers also with the henna ink on it, and the ring like a bull in his nose. I hope and pray that none of our sisters put that thing in their nose like that. If you're gonna do something decent, not like a bull.
That's from a
Otherwise, I will strongly suggest for the husbands to get a string and tie it on that thing and take them out to the pasture every once in a while. Give them some straw to eat.
Keep on pulling it.
Keep pulling. Yeah, that's right, Elder. And every once in a while, tie them on a stick and a post.
See Louis Vuitton right there?
Yeah, dude, look upset.
It's craziness. You cannot tell who is who these days. You can get out of that, O'Shea. It's enough wickedness. Enough wickedness for the eyes. Let's move on. Wear your magic. Tarot and sigil clothing for spiritual empowerment. Kifa, let's read.
Embracing the power of symbols isn't just a ritual. It's a way of carrying your magic with you, which is woven into every stitch and thread. Over the years, I've discovered that adorning myself with tarot imagery and custom sigils transforms ordinary garments into living reminders of intention. When I slip on a tee bearing the image of the magician, I feel a surge of confidence. When I drape a scarf embroidered with a protective sigil, I sense an invisible shield unfolding around me.
Sigil.
That's of the devil.
Here's how to turn your wardrobe into a wearable altar and unlock major arcana's energy wherever you go.
See that? So don't tell me that clothes don't have anything to do with the darkness. So when you put on these designs and you have all these symbols and stuff on it, it's a tarot, it's magic. You're drawing energy into you. Right? You think it's cool. Let's go to the next one, read, Kifa.
Wearable altar.
Long before screen-printed tees, sages and sorcerers marked their robes with powerful emblems. Tarot cards themselves draw from Kabbalah's tree of life. Alchemical transformation and the movements of the stars. Sigils, created from words of power, were used to protect homes and amplify desires. By revisiting these ancient practices, we reclaim garments as more than decoration, turning them into conduits for spirits.
Conduits for what?
Spirits.
See that? Let's read on.
Just real quick. So the sigils are those symbols, those familiar symbols that have spirits attached to them. So like portals or doorways. And they're embedded in these symbols that people wear, not realizing that that's an...
Yeah, like Leviticus says, don't cut your skin, or tattoos and all that stuff. Science shows that what we wear can shift our mindset, sometimes called enclothed cognition. Tarot garments act as wearable mantras. A card's imagery primes your intuition, and its symbols anchor your intentions throughout a busy day. Suddenly, you're not just wearing a design, you're embodying its essence.
Y'all see that? You're not just wearing a design, you're embodying its essence. It shifts your mindset right here. Okay? This is why it is so important for us to be educated in the truth and not follow the things of the world. Brother Shay, let's move on to our next for time's sake. This is from Psychology Today. How to dress for what you want to become.
That's right.
Clothing imbued with symbolic meaning can actually change how we think and act. Let's read the key point right there where the arrow is.
The clothes shapes your mindset by combining symbolic meaning, and the act of wearing.
Let's read the other part. The term.
The term enclothed cognition was coined by behavioral scientists Hajo Adam and Adam Glansky in their 2012 paper. The core finding was striking. The very clothes you wear can influence how you think, feel, and behave, but only when two forces come together.
Wow.
The symbolic meaning of the clothing, and two, the physical act of wearing it.
This is important. So when you have the symbols on the clothes and then it touches your body, now do y'all understand what the Most High says? Don't touch these garments. Don't take these things. When you take it, it activates like glue, like epoxy.
Yeah, that's why when we have our own garments we're supposed to be wearing, it attracts the righteous spirits, the angels to come protect us. The Torah is engaged, activated, if you want to put it that way. The same thing with these people here. So the woman that we just watched, she designs these things, and then all of a sudden that spirit, she puts those spirits on those things. Then you go buy these clothes and you're wondering why your life has turned upside down.
All of a sudden your son he decides you catch your son in your closet wearing your shoes and your underwear, like your underwear is missing for a week. What happened to my pink underwear? It's disappeared. Your son is wearing that to school all week. Talking about he want to touch his feminine side. That's when you as a father need to touch that feminine side and knock it out of him. Let's go on to our next slide.
Like that woman in the Adventures, Mystique, how when she just changes in clothes.
So now we're looking at Kabbalah Center red string bracelets. Remember this? We talked about it before. A lot of these musicians, actors, designers, they have been using this Kabbalah red string. And their excuse is that when you read the Bible, it spoke about when the children was born, Pharez and the other one, the twins, right? That the one that came out to tie the string to find out which one, to make sure which one, to mark the twin that came out first because he slipped back in, right?
Don't even come close.
So as you can see, it says you get the string and you get the certificate that goes with it too, right? And it comes from it's a gift from the Holy Land.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
Well, one of the tunnel explorers.
Yeah.
These guys are expert in tunnels.
Yep. Tunnel and dirty mattresses.
Let's go to our next slide, Brother Shea.
Yeah, you see a lot of the Tucker Carlsons and those other guys wearing one of those on the wrist. You'll notice it. If you look closely, you'll see them.
Yes.
They have to.
Now, on the brochure or the certificate, this is what is broken down. Safed, and then you have Rachel's tomb, and you have Jerusalem. So the string is durable wool from Safed, and then it's wound 7 times around Rachel's tomb. Mm-hmm. Why is this stuff around some tomb? It's prepared in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Then you get the certificate here, and then you have the prayers instructed for when you want to pray and stuff. Kifa, read that part right there.
The Kabbalah?
A Kabbalah red string.
Okay, Kabbalah red string is a scarlet wool talisman worn on the left wrist to ward off misfortune and the evil eye.
Hara.
Yeah. Popularized globally by modern outreach movements like the Kabbalah Center. The practice involves tying a dyed wool cord with 7 knots while reciting a protective prayer.
Brethren, The people who put this stuff out here in the fashion world understand the spiritual side of what they're doing. You may not look at it that way. You may be thinking this is just clothes to throw on. You look good. You got your matching orange hat with your orange shoes and your orange belt, and I'm looking fly. Yeah, you're looking like a fly. I'm looking cool. I got everything is matching up a certain way. Not realizing that half the stuff that you put on is not what the Most High wants you to wear. Brother Shay, pull up Genesis 38. We're going to read a few verses 27 to 30, because this is what they try to sell you and say that, this is for us. And we got a few more slides, so we want to try to pick up a little speed here, okay? So let's get 27 to 30 and read. All right, 27 to 30. Let's get it.
And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that, behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother, that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah.
So they are using this to push this idea of wearing the stringer on the hand when this has nothing to do with what they're promoting. But what they're promoting is initiation, birth. It's like you're being born into the occult. Because remember, the string was wrapped around a child that was born. Okay? But it was marked, it was just basically marking the child who was the first and who came out the womb, make the first exit versus the other one. Just that's all it is. So when they have to give the birthright, they can say, you are the firstborn because you're twins and you are the secondborn, right? To give everything in order. But they have taken this thing and turned it into some spiritual thing, and this is a cult. Let's move on. Occult symbols are reshaping modern fashion. Let's read, Kifa.
Some symbols, when taken out of their original context or used without proper understanding, can inadvertently promote ideas or practices that might be considered harmful or offensive to certain groups.
Well, let's stop for a second, Kifa. This is speaking truth. Certain things, when used improperly or taken out of context, can harm certain groups. What does that mean for us? Are we not a special people or certain group that we should not be using these things without proper understanding of what is going on? Because when we do these things, the Bible says it hurts us.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that to the side real quick before you read, and pull up Deuteronomy 7 and verses 6. And then 1 Peter 2 and 9, and then we'll continue reading. Okay? This is important.
For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh, thy Elohim. Yahweh thy Elohim hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
All right, let's get 1 Peter 2 and 9. So we can see clearly that the Most High is marking or identifying his people and saying, listen, I made you special for me, not for Satan. The other nations, they can do whatever they want. But you have to be a special people. Why do you think Christianity is always trying to bring their garbage with them? Like, how can you come into the Most High's business and you got paganism mixed with you? Talking about ham sandwich and Easter eggs and Christmas and all kinds of nonsense. Let's get 1 Peter 2 and 9. Let's read.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Into his marvelous light. Let's go back to the reading. And we can clearly see that Elohim he means business. The question is, do we mean business? Let's read this, the second part. It's imperative.
It's imperative that those creating and wearing these symbolically charged garments take the time to educate themselves about the origins, meanings, and potential implications of the imaginary imagery they're using. Before purchasing or wearing items featuring occult symbolism, it's wise to delve into the background of these symbols. Understanding the significance behind what you're wearing not only enriches your personal connection to the garment, but also prevents unintentional offense or the potentially unintentional promotion of memes and rituals that are sometimes not wholly positive from a societal
point of view.
Societal point of view.
All right, so it makes it clear that you got to go upstream and check things out. Let's go to our next slide.
The fashion industry's transformation. The infusion of occult symbolism into mainstream fashion has propelled and given exuberance to a profound transformation within the industry. No longer content with creating merely aesthetically pleasing garments, designers are now challenged to imbue their creations with layers of meanings and spiritual significance. Many fashion houses have embraced this change wholeheartedly, revamping their design processes to incorporate deeper research and spiritual consultation. It becomes increasingly common for brands to collaborate with occult practitioners.
Read it again. Read that part again. It's what?
It's becoming increasingly common for brands to collaborate with occult practitioners, scholars of esoteric traditions, and even energy workers to ensure the authenticity and potency of the symbols they use.
And real quick, and that's what it means by imbue. That's that infusion, collaboration. Right?
This interdisciplinary approach has led to the creation of collections that are not just visually stunning, but also energetically charged and spiritually aligned. Models are often portrayed as modern-day mystics or spiritual seekers.
Stop for a second. They're saying models, the people who are going up and down the runways, are portrayed as modern-day mystics or spiritual seekers. Read on.
In dreamlike settings, surrounded by esoteric symbols and magical artifacts.
All right, let's move on to the next.
Makes a lot of sense.
The future of occult fashion.
As technology advances, we might witness the emergence of smart occult fashion, garments embedded with technology that responds to the wearer's energy or aligns with celestial events. Imagine a jacket that subtly changes color during different moon phases, or a ring that vibrates to remind you of your daily meditation practice.
Before we read the next thing, they already got these things already.
Mm-hmm.
Those
rings.
They have the mood necklaces, rings, and there's even some mood clothing I've seen on shelves, and I'm like, what are they trying to do?
Brother Shay, I remember when I was young, right? There was a ring that I think it used to change colors or something.
Yeah.
Based
Depends
upon
on how you
mood
feel.
or something. It used to change some kind of a stone. All right, let's get Deuteronomy 4:19 and 20. So they remember Daniel also there was this thing where when you hear the sound of the thing, you worship the statue. Well, hey, they're coming out with clothes now that, yeah, there goes the mood ring. They're coming out with clothes now that will remind you, hey, it's time to pray, time to worship that idol.
Mhm.
All right, Deuteronomy 4, 19 and 20.
Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which you, the Elohim, hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But Yahweh hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
See that? So the Most High, and let's go to the next slide. The Most High wants us to be a special people, family, and he gave us the rules. Again, we continue looking at the future of occult fashion. Look at the sun, moon, and stars all over this piece of clothing here. And you see the occult thing with the Catholics and the Mary, the Queen of Heaven type stuff, and all types of texts on the thing. All right? Texts. And what do they call material? Textile with text on it. Let's read. The allure?
The allure of occult symbols in clothing lies not just in their aesthetic appeal, but in their capacity to serve as conduits for energy, intention, and ancient knowledge. Each garment becomes a talisman, each accessory a tool for spiritual attunement. It is crucial, therefore, that we understand the talisman that we are wearing, because whether we want to believe it or not, it is quite possible that the symbols and this ritual that we wear as fashion is affecting not only our reality, but the reality of those around us.
Even yep.
Watch the hands.
Even the people around you. So be careful, Mishpachah, when you are around certain people that are wearing certain things.
I mean, not only that, I mean, you have with the vaccine shedding, I mean, you deal with somebody that,
Yeah, that's another class. That's another class. That's another class. Let's go to the next slide. The ajimat or talisman vest worn by a Filipino revolutionary during the Philippine Revolution around the late 1890s to early 1900s contains folk Catholic prayers in a Filipino peasant butchered Latin and instructional diagrams on when or where the shirt would work. So the shirt has powers to do certain things. And here you have this shirt on the backside with all these occultic things. He's supposed to be Catholic.
I mean, yesterday's class with Esau was about, the garments.
Yeah. And you can see the occult connections here, right? Okay. And French poet Charles Baudelaire says, quote, fabrics speak a silent language. Mm-hmm. Your clothes are speaking. It speaks, but who's it speaking to? Who's it talking to?
Talking to them spirits.
All right, well, let's move on.
Spirits are saying, I'm welcome. I can land my aircraft here.
One-eyed devil. Well, we have a PDF and you got a video, but let's see if we can pick it up as quickly as possible. Let's pull that to the side and let's click on that link. Let's see what we can get in the meantime. Pictures of the month. And just scroll down. We're not going to click on each one of these, but you can see for the month of 5/26 this year, everybody, this K-pop, Korean pop group, got the Illuminati one-eye thing there, demon, right? Scroll down, you got Jay-Z, right? April of 26 this year with the one eye. Then you got the same dude who was the vampire. Look how he's dressed as a woman. Scroll down, you got Gordon Ramsay
Hiding the meat.
with the meat and the thing covering his eye, one eye again, one-eyed devil.
Yeah.
Then
All of that is tied. Everything's tied of them.
Then you got Justin Bieber over here with the one eye, with his child in front of him. Then you got Taylor Swift with the one eye. Then you got Mariah Carey with the one eye, right? And then you got Sabrina Carpenter on the floor. All of these are Masonic occultic symbols. Then you got, what's this person called? Bella Ramsey with the one eye, again, in the fashion, wear. And then you have, who is this person here? Arena Grande?
Yeah, Ariana Grande.
With the bunch of eyes, right? That's last year. Then you got Sabrina Carpenter with the one eye. Then you have, the Dirty Cat Williams with the perm. He's always talking about other people, but when he talks, he sounds like very effeminate. And look how he's dressed in Masonic clothing. So when they start saying stuff, family, let's be careful. Then you have this other mockery of, this is Catholic stuff here, right? And as you go, you see more one-eye stuff and occultic symbolism all the way through. Then you got Idris Elba, right? A lot of our Israelite women, this is my hunk, this is my boo right here. He could be the Black James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. They're all involved in this thing. Khloe Kardashian with the serpent biting the apple, and she's biting it too. And you can keep going and going. You can close it out. And then this young girl with the crown of bones on her head. Yeah, O'Shea keeps going. So, yes, family, nothing but occult stuff.
You want to put a video, the PDF now? Or?
Yeah, pull up the PDF. Let's try to get it as quickly as possible. So there was a fashion event that happened in London, and it was held in a church. And a bishop spoke against it. Bishop Blast at Satanic London Fashion Week show that turned a church into a catwalk. Held in a church, so that they use the church, do that dirty stuff, and then later on you're going to come back and they're talking about we want to praise Jesus. Look at this stuff. Read that part that is highlighted, Kifo. Just going to read through the highlighted part.
Models dress as devils and vampires shade in front of the altar. Turkish designer Dilara Fingukul, whose creation have been worn by celebrities including singer Rihanna.
Scroll down.
Against a backdrop of demonic images, heavily made up models wearing horns or displaying upside down crosses paraded down the aisle, turned catwalk of St. Andrew Holborn Church in central London last week. Ms. Fungul, who has been described as an up-and-coming rebel of the fashion world, told Vogue magazine earlier this month of her fascination with the occult and magic.
Look at the pictures. Look at this picture with the satanic, Masonic, black and white tiles in the church, number one. Excuse me. But look at all the occult symbolism.
In red on the face. And the shoes is red and black.
Keep going. And that's the priest who, keep going, who spoke out against that. I think that's the priest that spoke, that spoke out against the satanic thing being used in the church. Look at the church.
Those used to be temples of Baal.
Keep going now. Let's see if there's anything there. All right, you can close that out. Let's get the video.
Houses unto Molech.
The video. Let's get that up. So you see all the designer logos, they all have meanings, okay? So fair use, we're going to look at, this is UNICEF. This is United Nations, who had a ceremony to help raise funds to help poor people, children, and rescue children and people who need food. And watch and see who was raising the money. They had a masquerade ball, and as you can see, all the thing is demonic. Demonic. So all of these demons, look at the horns. All of these demons were coming out to raise money. Look at all that stuff. Horns, demonic horns. Right? A lot of perversions to raise money to help poor people. So you might be getting a tarot card. See the witchcraft tarot cards? So you'll get a package, a care package, because you've been hit with a hurricane. You've been hit by war. You've been hit with famine, drought. Look at that, singing bowls and all kind of Hindu and witchcraft. You see that, O'Shea?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. So you get these packages that was blessed or cursed by demonic entities, family.
But this is all part of their great plan, because the children that they're trying to supposedly support are the same ones that they're sacrificing, trafficking.
Look at all of that stuff, family. Look at that. Music, DJs. Right? So all that money raised from these rich people goes into buying food, and the food, look at the sodomite dude. The food goes to help people who are suffering from disaster, whether it's natural or man-made disasters. You get your peanut butter, your cheese, you get your food, whatever it is, and you're thinking, thank you, Most High, for your blessings, not knowing that all this, look at that horn. Y'all see that? Wickedness. You can close it out. Wickedness, family. Wickedness. Who's handing out stuff? Let's go to our next slide. We're almost done. One more. All right. Jesus loves goths. Inside Asylum, the Bible study group for metalheads. Look at this woman wearing a goth death t-shirt or whatever it is. And she's promoting that, hey, Jesus liked this kind of stuff. Let's get that PDF.
He loves that stuff.
Let's get the PDF.
He does love that
9
stuff.
seconds of fame.
I'm just showing you how all of these things are tied with each other. Tied with each other, family. So let's go through it real quick. Let's see. Might be some highlighted stuff. Look at her right there.
Booms.
Right there. Read that part, Kifa.
I started Asylum because, to me, it felt like something that God really wanted to happen.
Now, does that sound like something that our Messiah would promote? An asylum? A madhouse? I thought he's supposed to be setting you, making you free and releasing and driving out those demons. A madhouse is a place for people who got spirits on them.
That's right. I started a madhouse, basically she was saying, where demons can come.
Batman and the Joker.
Let's read the underlined part, Kifa, the flyers.
The flyers had designs on them like Jesus died for punks and meddlers too, and Jesus loved goths.
Y'all see that? So there's flyers saying that Jesus loved goths and punks. Okay, let's read the next part. God isn't interested in clothes. He's interested in people's hearts. Yeah. So he's not interested in clothes. So why make the clothes demonic? Why have the clothes as goths? If he's not interested in clothes, then forget about the goths.
This is one of those
cross eyes,
right there. One eye things that they showed earlier.
Wait. Go to the top. Look at the Jubu symbol right there to the top.
Asylum.
And see the Jubu's in it?
Yep, right there. Got this, and then you have the Christian cross over here, and it says fellowship. Sharing
Christ's love with goths, meddlers, punks, and so forth.
Anarchy.
You start the churches on Sunday 3 to 5, right?
Anarchy sign.
All right, let's move on. Right there. Read that part, Kiefer. Craig?
Craig went on to explain that he made a blood pact, signing a contract in his own blood. As a teenager, it became very horrible, to the point I couldn't sleep at night because I was so scared. His rescue came in the form of a Christian death metal cassette that a friend had tricked him into listening to. I wanted to kill him. How dare he deceive me like that? But yet something happened. I needed to make a decision.
So he used to be, he made a deal with the devil, and then somebody came and gave him a Christian devil cassette. He listened to it, and now he transformed his life into staying with the devil.
That's what it says.
So
You know.
so you go from the dark side of witchcraft to the light side of witchcraft.
Yeah. Look at the table with a bunch of satanic stuff,
Paraphernalia.
occultic stuff, right? Paraphernalia. Yep. Let's move on. Let's see if there's anything else that we will need from that. I think that's basically it. Yeah, that's all we need from that. You can close it out. That's it. But the point of the matter is, and we're done, is to show each and all of us how the devil is controlling the fashion market. People are making deals, and those who buy the clothing are also coming in contract or covenant with Satan by buying those things. It may be ignorantly, but it's still a deal. And even when people find that it's satanic, they want to take Satan's stuff and says, we got to reach the people, the people that is bound by Satan by remixing the thing, right? And now we're going to put on, I'll be a Christian, but I'll be goth. I'll be cool, a cool Christian. What fellowship does light have to do with darkness, family? So, brethren, you have seen the deal, part 5, fashion edition. You see what Satan has been cooking up, what we need to do to stay out of this business. I pray that all of us will learn something from this. I thank you all for coming out, for listening, for those who stuck around to listen to the end. May the Most High bless you. I think there was a question. Let me see.
Excellent class, Rabbi. Excellent class.
All praise to the Most High. Shalom, Rabbi Brother Kifa and Brother O'Shea. On garments indicating gender, rich men dressing like women back then, is it now the case where almost every woman now wears pants and girl children are raised in pants and shorts, and it has kind of become normal world over? Yeah, that's true. Pants and shorts designed for women, yet when we were growing up, there was nothing like pants designed for women. Well, things have changed. Things have changed. So what do?
When I was growing up, a stud was a man who was strong. Now, today, a stud is a woman. So
A stud is a woman.
Yeah.
All right, family, that's it for tonight's broadcast. Looking forward to fellowshipping. I think Brother Shea is going to be running the Hebrew Hangout tomorrow night. So I thank you all for chiming in tonight, for listening. Any thoughts from you, Brother Shea and Kifa?
Excellent class. Can Most High continue to bless and keep your mind focused on these things, and tied into the class yesterday with it that Brother O'Shea put out. So good addition to the collection.
Stay away from the deals. Stay away from the deals. Let's focus on the commandments, the Torah, and love.
Hallelujah. All praises. So with that said, family, let's get Elder up front so he can give us a prayer blessing from the Most High, that our minds could be right and get our lives right before him, especially for our children. Hallelujah.
Excellent class. I mean, I hope that it blessed someone, even in the rebroadcast. I mean, we only try to share and open up the eyes of our people that
Elder stepped away.
there's a lot of different things that no one can't see or can't understand. But the tech world, just like when Trump made that, opening the doors to the tech community during the beginning of his presidency. I mean, the tech world has a lot to do with what we're dealing with here. So all praises to the Most High, and here's Elder.
All praises to the Most High. Let us pray, family. Father, it is a good thing to give you thanks and praise your great and holy name for that wonderful class tonight. That our teacher have presented tonight, and also our reader read. Father, we thank you, we praise you. We give you all the thanks and praise, Holy Father, because all these things that we are seeing is in this world, all the occult things. But Father, we pray that may protect us, that may guide us, your children, help that we may not participate in those things, that we may keep ourselves away from all this wickedness, that we all are your children. Bless us, guide us, dismiss us with your blessing. We love you and we thank you. We ask all this blessing. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Let
The words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight.
O Yahweh,
who is
our strength and our Redeemer.
Love you all. Stay strong, stay sharp. Until next time, we say shalom, family.
No.